What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Boston's Big Three podcast presented by Ride the Wave Media. We are brought to you by 1 in 100. 1 in 100 is the only online raffle website giving fans and experience seekers the chance to win tickets to live sporting events, concerts, music festivals, and more. Whether it be from your desktop or mobile device, winning tickets to your favorite events has never been so easy and fun. Choose your desired event, purchase a raffle ticket into the draw, and you can be the lucky winner to the next game. I know 1 in 100's got a lot of fun stuff coming up, a few busy weeks, free giveaways to Celtics, Bruins. It's fun stuff coming up. But welcome back to the 23rd episode of Boston's Big Three. We're finally back. We took Thanksgiving off, but we are back in full force, ready to get into a lot of stuff to cover over the last 2 weeks especially. I did it solo a few weeks ago, but it's good to have the guys back on. We're joined by myself, Brandon Watabe, Spike King, and our main man, Stafford. All right, so I guess we should just jump right into what we've got. 3 Patriots games to really talk about over the last 2 weeks. The first of which being the Philadelphia Patriots game, which it wasn't the best offensive performance, but the Patriots definitely came out. They figured the head coaching was unreal. Just the mismatch in any game you're going to get when Bill Belichick's the head coach is definitely there. And the rematch between the Eagles and the Patriots from Super Bowl 52 it's all in the past now. Pats finally got their revenge game and found a way to win it. And Spike King was down in Philly and survived. I'm surprised you're here. Talk about that.
It's been a crazy couple weeks. First of all, Brendan, thank you so much for carrying Boston's Big Three on your own. Tyler Miller, absolutely nowhere to be found too. But it's the holiday season, so things slow down a little bit. The consistency isn't there. I myself have been absolutely busy traveling all around. This is the nitty-gritty time for the Patriots season, as you know, for the Spike King. A lot of great things have happened recently, even with the loss this past week against Houston. Philly was awesome. That was 2 years in the making. Obviously, one of my first big things that went viral on Instagram was spiking a cheesesteak right before Super Bowl 52. You lose to the Eagles. This game has been circled down ever since then. I got to give a shout out to Fourth and John out there. We've been talking for months and months and months and months about linking up, being out there. They had an awesome tailgate. Eagles fans get a bad rap. I thought the tailgate was
all
awesome.
Of Philly does.
Yeah, I think that it's those one bad apples that every fan base has an asshole. Every fan base has the people that fight. We have that in New England, dude. It happens. And I think those videos go viral, and then it actually paints a bad picture. Yeah, Philly could be a little rough around the edges, but if you respect people, they're going to respect you back. That's simple across the board, no matter where you are in today's world. So going out there, awesome tailgate. Everyone was nice to me, hooked it up. We were laughing, giggling around. Now, I was wearing my war vest, and the funny thing is that kind of blends in with the Eagles colors, so not a lot of people knew I was a Pats fan to begin with. But there were some Pats fans mingling around. In terms of the game, I mean, hard-fought game. It was, I believe, 17-10 was the final of that game. And, the 41-33 dies. That's it. You can't talk about it anymore. I got screwed out of my tickets, by the way.
What happened there?
So I bought my tickets on Friday, $720, 2 tickets to sit in 4 rows from the field. And then all of a sudden, a girl comes up with 2 of her friends, and she goes, hey, those are my seats. And she showed me. She had the Ticketmaster tickets. And I was like, what the fuck? Went to guest services. Guest services said, you guys are responsible of figuring it out. So I was like, I'm not getting in a pissing contest with these people. Let them sit there, just relocate me. They wanted to put me up in the 300s. I ended up sitting the club level. I sat on the 40, 50-yard line. There were good seats. You get to see everything. So here's my thing, too. I love sitting close. I want to be close to the action. I want to be on TV. I want to just, see everything there. But sitting up top is not bad because you can see plays develop. And that was a good thing that I haven't done that this year. Last year I sat in the 300s once, and that was up in Nashville. This year, this is my second time because in Houston I sat in the 500s. But that's another story. But, you get to see a little bit more things develop. It's a hard-fought game. Like I said so many times, this team can score 16 points a game, and they can win. It's because of that defense. Yeah. That defense showed up. That defense was there. It was close at the end, 41-33. It's done. Eagles fans were waiting. Eagles fans were waiting for that win. You can tell because they just want to put it right back in your face, and that's it. They have their Super Bowl. We move on. Their team sucks. They just lost to Miami this past week.
What's their record?
They're 5-6 or something.
Probably the most inconsistent football team I've ever seen in my life.
They're 5-6 and can still win the division.
The NFC East is an absolute mess. But Carson Wentz needs some credit too. I'm a big Carson Wentz guy. His receivers have been giving him zero help.
Yeah,
zero.
So I'll say that going into that Patriots game, they had nobody. Like some people were hurt. They had to get
Alshon Jeffrey was out.
Yeah, Alshon was out. They had to sign Jordan Matthews. They had to sign Jay Ajayi back. Like they had to do that for that game. No excuses because there was a bye week for both tems. There was a bye week for both teams,
excuses,
and both teams were well prepped for that game.
Here.
I love this though. I was sitting when I was actually in my original seat that I was supposed to be in. All the Philly fans are jawing at Brady. They're jawing at him. You know, they're saying some stuff, and you could see Brady looking up, and he's pumped up. That pumped him up, and I love seeing that. I wish he murdered him out there, but you got to take what you got to take. A win's a win, and we moved on.
Yeah, I want to see your thoughts on that, Babz, because you were actually at the game. He was 26 of 47 for 216 yards, no picks, no touchdowns. How do you look live?
I mean, dude, this is a couple weeks ago, so I'm going to completely forget so many Bud Lights ago. It really is. I mean, all right, let's just take the last 3 weeks in general. I mean, Brady this past week in Houston threw 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He went 26 for 40, whatever he did. He didn't look terrible this past week, especially with Sanu having a high ankle sprain, especially with the illnesses walking around the locker room. Dorsett's coming off the concussion. Edelman supposedly has a separated shoulder. In the game against Dallas, I mean, that was a rain game. That game sucked, and Brendan can talk more about that when we get to there because he went to the game. It's just a little frustrating this season with Brady overall because, I mean, you just saw those stats that I think I posted the other day, and it's comparable to 2013. In 2013, they didn't really have I think they had a better receiver group than they did because I think they had Gronk that season. They still had Edelman that season. You can tell they need an extra body, dude. They need Antonio Brown back. They need a Des Bryant. They need Rob Gronkowski. Fuck Rob Gronkowski and fuck his Gronk beat shit because that came out as well too. And I'm getting pissed at him just like everybody else because he keeps using this stupid. I'm gonna make a comeback, but hey, I know the marketing scheme, but hey, I'm having Gronk beach.
It works. It's worked. Everyone knows about this Gronk beach thing now because of it.
But Brady is missing a stud, and it sucks to say that they had Antonio Brown and Josh Gordon to start the season week 2, and then all of a sudden you don't even have either of them. And they should have. Why did they get rid of Josh Gordon? We still need to know why that happened.
Yeah, we need an answer for that one. That one's pretty bad.
There were rumors floating around that he was getting content. He was showing up to meetings late. He was starting to dog it in practice, and the coaching staff noticed. That was the rumor going on. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've heard.
I'm just waiting for the day so far in the future when the Brady book, the Belichick book comes out. You know, the autobiography.
Everything.
I know. There's going to be so many tell-alls. You're going to have the Josh Gordon getting cut. You're going to have who was his name? Malcolm Butler getting benched in the Super Bowl. Yeah. You're going to have all these crazy things answered. It's all locked away for now.
Belichick, Brady, and Robert Kraft are not here to purposely lose Super Bowls. They want to win games.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's a business. Like Antonio Brown, he's not coming back. Like he's really not going to come back. I don't believe it because Robert Kraft, even if Brady and Belichick want him, Robert Kraft,
which they do.
Kraft is going to say no because of the actions that he did against Kraft. The second you let Antonio Brown back, the inmates run the asylum. This is why Belichick has cut so many guys in the past. Think about some of the players that like Richard Seymour. You know, you're going to date back 20 years here. Richard Seymour. They'll get rid of whatever. Josh Gordon. I bet Kraft likes Josh Gordon. Maybe Kraft wants to keep him. Belichick's like, nope, he's not showing up. We're going to get rid of him.
Even at the beginning of the season, the Michael Bennett situation traded a few days later after he got into an altercation with the coach. You got to keep that culture, and I think that's what's important.
All the way back in 2005, Ty Law with his contract negotiation.
Yeah. And they end up going with what's his face that ends up sucking, Asante Samuel, who missed the Super Bowl 2007. And here's another thing too. I just had it in my head, and now I lost it. They're willing to move on from guys. You know what I mean? Like they're willing to do and. Even if that guy is a top-notch player, they're not going to stick around with it. I think it's very far and few in between that they'll do that. But they're not, just because they get rid of the guy, it's not like, oh, yeah, we're done. We're not going to win the Super Bowl. They're going to still try. But that's why that culture has lasted 20-plus years under the under the Belichick and Kraft regime, because they're willing to say, I don't give a shit who you are. If you're an A+ player or an F player, you're out of here. You don't follow this way, you're out of here. We're not dealing with your bullshit. And it sucks for this season because you know that Antonio Brown would win you the Super Bowl. And guess what? They can still win the Super Bowl. Guess what? Super Bowl 51, they were down 28-3, and they didn't have Rob Gronkowski, and they still won that Super Bowl. Malcolm Mitchell stepped up in that game and had 150 yards that game.
I miss him so much.
But here's the thing. N'Keal Harry, I still go on my record, and with the rumor that was told to me, he was an asshole in the locker room, and that's why he was benched in Baltimore. It's like one of those things. He was ready. He flew down. Why didn't you put him in there? I don't give a shit about your game plan. It's because he did something to you. Malcolm Butler, the rumor was that he punched Steven Belichick in the face. There's a whole thing that I saw about that. And if that was true, he's going to be like, we don't need you. Because here's the thing. If Belichick put Malcolm Butler out there in that Super Bowl and they won, Malcolm Butler was walking anyways and going to get his money, it would make Belichick look bad. They need to stay on top of everybody else.
That's a whole different issue. That was a problem in the first place, because instead of designing the game plan after Butler was benched, you decided to put Eric Rowe in his spot and cover Alshon Jeffrey the whole damn first half, which should never have happened in the first place anyway. Yeah. That's a whole different discussion to have. But going back to what you said earlier, I'm not sold AB is completely gone. I'm really not, and I'll tell you why. One, AB posted an hour ago a picture of him and Brady. I miss you, buddy. I think he commented too. I know
it means nothing, dude.
I know it means nothing, and that's not my point. Kraft wants to win more. I know he wants to win more. I know he wants to get Brady one more ring. And regardless of what Belichick, I know Belichick wants to have AB back. I know Brady wants to have AB back. And I think Kraft at the end of the day realizes that they need that game separating weapon, because our receivers can't get open. It's unbelievable. They're doubling Julian Edelman over the middle and then White out of the backfield, and then nobody can get separation.
We all blindly bow down to Robert Kraft. Yeah. When that's the allegations or whatever which happened about him getting the rub and tug last year, you know what Pats Nation did? They just bowed down and be like, that's awesome. He's the man, this and that. And while everyone else is like, that's wrong. Now, it could start spinning on him. And Pats fans are like, dude, we let you pass with the rub and tug. Give us the fans a pass and let AB back. All right.
Yeah.
It breaks even in that case. Okay. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Robert Kraft, you saw that little video I posted last night into this morning. The guy was at the Celtics game. Robert Kraft says, bring AB back. Now imagine the Pats don't win the Super Bowl this year, and AB never comes back on the Patriots. Robert Kraft can't show his face in Boston for a little bit because fans are going to be heated afterwards. And everyone's going to be like, why didn't you bring AB back? We would have won. Just like Belichick. Belichick ate a lot of crow after that Super Bowl. He ate it, which I also think that after that Super Bowl loss, Rob Gronkowski said he was going to retire. I think that was a ploy because it took a lot of heat off of Belichick, and more people started talking about that. They're good at spinning shit like that, but I bet that's going to happen. I hope that Antonio Brown comes back. You know, I shot him the DM. We talked a little bit, just a couple words exchanging. He knows he's waiting for the phone call. Just fucking do it. He's not going to go on the exempt list. That whole court case shit is done. It's and you know what? Maybe he comes back in a week or two. Like we have to wait and see. But at this point, there's only two receivers that you can pretty much get. And it's Dez Bryant and it's Antonio Brown, because you can't trade for anybody. I don't know why these people are saying, "Oh, Odell Beckham's coming to the team." Dude,
yeah, it makes no sense.
The Browns aren't going to cut him and just say, like, that's it. Like, it makes no sense. It's either Dez Bryant. I still believe in Dez Bryant, and I want to just bring him in and see what he has. Just throw him out there. Or Antonio Brown. They need somebody. Desperately need somebody.
Deion Sanders on NFL Network the other day announced that there was help on the way within the next couple of weeks to the Patriots. Do we buy that, and who do we think he's referring to specifically?
I don't buy that because he's just saying that to get people to talk about it.
Yeah.
What the fuck kind of information does he have?
This might have been the first time I've ever heard like Deion Sanders coming out with a statement saying this is going to happen. I think this might be the first time ever.
Yeah, he doesn't have the inside information. Yeah. I mean, he knows players. And
he's NFL, but
I'm sure he's like he knows. But I feel like the beat writers and the people that are actually in New England probably have a better take than he does. And at the end of the day, you know what? N'Keal Harry is a good talent. Sanu's a good talent. When this team's healthy, Philip Dorsett and Julian Edelman, that's not a bad core. 4 guys right there. And Jacoby Myers, throw him in there, okay? Those 5 guys are not bad when they're 100% healthy. They just haven't been healthy yet. Again, this is what I'm trying to tell. This is what I just fucking posted. There's 3 fucking home games left, and then there's a road game against the 1-win Cincinnati Bengals. Last year, at this time in mid-December, they lost. This week coming up, they lost the Miami Miracle game. What happened the next week? They lost in Pittsburgh. They had 5 losses, and everyone wrote them off last year. This team isn't good. They had the same struggles last year around this time. The offense wasn't producing. The defense was inconsistent. And then everyone wrote them off. What happened? They had 2 fucking home games, dude. 2 home games. They played against the Bills and the Jets. They win both those games. They have a bye week, and then they had the red hot San Diego, LA Chargers come into town who beat the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, Lamar Jackson was a rookie, but Lamar Jackson was really good last year. Don't forget that at the end of the season, he was very good. Beat him, and we smoked them, and then we went to the AFC title game. So people just are already writing off the Patriots is absolutely nuts. Don't do that. This week's gonna be the statement week. You beat Kansas City at home. Pat Mahomes 0-3 against Brady. That's what you want to do. They'll be rolling into Cincy, and then everyone's gonna start feeling themselves. It's December now.
It's the continuous cycle. Every year it's the same story and over and over again. We either go 2-2 in September or 4-0. Then there's a mid-season struggle where we lose a big game. Everybody says Brady's done, and it keeps going on again. We go into the playoffs with a bye. We beat the crap out of somebody in the playoffs, and then we win the Super Bowl.
Joe and Brendan, you look at these 4 games right here. Philadelphia, Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, preseason. What's their record in those 4 games? Most people are going to say 2-2.
Yep,
if they win this game Sunday, go 3-1, that's a huge win. That's a huge win because in that stretch of games, and you know what? Even going into our preseason, you say 12-4. Every year, 12-4, 13-3. They're going to finish the season 14-2. And that's good. And yeah, Baltimore might have the one up because they're a better team. Sometimes that happens some years. 15-1, 14-2. Some teams get hot like that. That's absolutely fine. But to be 14-2, and yeah, you could say they haven't played a good. That's the frustrating part because they really haven't beaten that really, really good team, which I still think it's bullshit because some of the games that they go into, those teams were good. Like the Buffalo Bills were 3-0, and now Buffalo Bills are frauds.
That win looks a lot better now, though.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, it does. But if you look at the actual schedule, because I just sent this to GRD a little earlier, and their 9 wins this year are against pretty shitty teams, like Miami twice, the Redskins. Like, I mean,
you could spin that argument for the Patriots too at the beginning of the season.
I know. I get you. And here's the thing: anytime you play the Patriots, you know teams are playing 100%. They want to beat the Patriots. That is their Super Bowl. It is true. There's not like they're just gonna go in there and just play. Like, all right, we're just gonna pack it in. Like they're gonna try their hardest to win that game, no matter what.
Just to wrap up thoughts on the Patriots Eagles game.
I know we went all over the place.
Yeah, no problem. Julian Edelman did throw a touchdown that game. It was the first time ever in Brady's career that he hadn't thrown a touchdown and someone else had.
He hadn't finished the game as the passing touchdown leader. Yeah,
exactly. As a starting quarterback, crazy stuff coming out about that. But it was a fun highlight. Do you have any stories about what it was like and seeing a trick play against Philadelphia? I know lots of bad stuff happened to us in the Super Bowl.
I didn't see it. No.
Was that during the ticket fiasco?
No, I was. It was halftime, and I was like using the bathroom because I think it happened right after halftime. It had to happen like in the third quarter, and I was trying to watch it on TV, and I was trying to get some beers, and then I missed it. I completely missed it. I'll admit, and I'm gonna admit it.
That's so tough.
That's tough.
I know.
Oh, yeah, the highlight play of the game.
It is tough. Yeah, I know. Because I got back to my seat, and then someone told me about it, and I was like, "Are you fucking serious?" Like I just missed it. So that's what happens, man. When you go to games, you gotta. Yeah. It's hard.
You gotta schedule it. You gotta get it right.
Long line, and then you miss things. You miss things that develop. I just wanted to mention that because Fitzy talked to Brady on the Monday beforehand. Fitzy does it every Monday, and they talked about the Eagles, and he said about the Super Bowl 52 with the Philly special, and Brady did say, keep an eye out. We might do something a little bit different. So Brady kind of had a little tell to New England, and they pulled off a play like that. So I thought that was interesting that came back to that too. But screw JA11. I hated them that night too. Because you know what happened? I'm going to say it. Screw them. Because I was pissed, and I told them how pissed I was. They had not the Gotta Believe, because I'm doing that now. They had the pass shirt, and they told me to do a giveaway. So I'm on the SEPTA, which is their tee, like down there. And I'm taking 25 minutes. This is post game, dude. This is when my account's like, I got a lot of views on my account. And I'm taking it. I'm doing it. I post it. they messaged me within 3 minutes. Hey, you got to take it down. Like, we're not going to be able to ship it out until like mid-December. We don't think it's worth it. And I was on the phone with them, and I was like chewing them out. I'm like, dude, this is my fucking post game right now. This is when my account's doing nuts. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, now you screwed everything up. Now I have to go scramble for something to post. And, you know, I was pissed about that. I was really pissed about that. But you know what? A win's a win. I was happy.
A win.
Got to meet the mayor of Philly, Dunphy, the guy who has all those tattoos.
Yeah.
Nicest guy in the world. Love him. I want him. I might go back to Philly to go see the Sixers and Celtics. I want him to come up to Boston. And I want his stomach everywhere, dude. He's amazing. Great guy. We were talking all day on Monday. And you know what? On Monday, went to the sports book, placed a little bet. Kansas City and the Celtics, walked out with $1,000. So my whole trip was already paid for.
Already worth it. Absolutely.
Take that every day.
And
don't talk about that Wednesday. That Wednesday, the Celtics lost the Clippers, and I didn't lose $1,900. I lost $400, but I could have won $1,900 for that fucking game.
Man,
we'll get
finish the parlays. But Julian Edelman, once again, perfect pass rating in the regular season. I think it's just below perfect in the postseason. 158 and what is it? 0.3. Perfect.
Yeah, 0.3.
So the next Patriots game we got to get into is the following week, following the bye week, Philly, and then Patriots returned home for a rainy
monsoon of a game.
Fest. Yeah, it was awful. I got to make the trip up to Gillette and see the Patriots take on America's former team, the Cowboys. So it was an interesting game. I was a buffoon and bought my tickets way before the weather was was out, and that we knew that it was going to be raining. So I spent way too much money on these tickets. But I got to bring my brother, one of my good friends, and we got to go watch this game. But what ended up happening was it was rainy. It wasn't even rainy in Boston the day before. It was like sun's out, beautiful day. It's like 60 degrees. We go down to Foxborough, and it is dumping rain. Dumping rain from the second we woke up to the moment the game ended. It was dumping rain all night, windy, cold, brisk. It was only like 40 degrees, but still, that cold, wet rain is not fun. That might be one of the coldest I've ever been, because I've been to playoff games at Gillette where it's like 20, 30 degrees and it's cold, but when it's wet and you're cold, it's tough. So we had nosebleed tickets, but we really when you first walk into the stadium, you can see will you be able to see the field from up there? And when we were just looking up, you're looking into the lights, but it's raining sideways. It looks like there's a cloud up there, and you just no way we were going to go up there and try to watch the game from there. So we go to the lighthouse, the standing room on the bridge. There where the tunnel is that you were talking about earlier, where the players come out. We kind of look down. Still great view, but we weren't covered at all. So it's raining, it's windy. We got the wind. We chose that spot too because the wind was at our back. We didn't want it to be squinting and trying to watch the game, have it at our back, so that way we could watch the game without worrying about our vision, because that was our whole thing behind it. And it's just raining, wind at our back. Rain is. We look at our pants 10 minutes before the game starts, and they're all dripping wet. We're all wearing jeans or khakis or something, and you can see the line where it's just the entire backside of our pants are wet from we're rain jackets and ponchos and whatever, and it's just wet, and you can see the discoloration from where the rain was, and then the front were dry, and there's just this perfect line from the back to the front of where we were wet, and you could feel the water dripping down your legs, inside your pants. It was cold.
You know what was dry that game, though?
What was dry that game?
Amari Cooper's stat line.
It was. Stephon Gilmore locked him up. That was fun. We didn't even know that Amari Cooper didn't have any catches. It came down to that last one on fourth down. Very crucial that the ball barely touched the ground, and Cooper didn't survive the ground, but thank God he did, and that could have changed the game. Only one touchdown total that game from the rookie. N'Keal Harry.
What a catch it was.
That was a good catch.
He had
a great
two
catch.
bad drops after that. He had two very bad drops after that.
After Matthew Slater blocked a punt to set up the only touchdown of the day. But, yeah, N'Keal Harry gets his first touchdown as a Patriot, back shoulder in the end zone. Who is it? I think that was number 75 for receivers he's thrown a touchdown to in his career. 75 different dudes have caught a touchdown from Tom Brady. It's insane.
It's unbelievable.
That number could be higher if you count all the pick sixes he's thrown.
Starts from Terry Glenn and goes to N'Keal Harry. It's unbelievable.
But very fun game nonetheless. Very wet, very cold. Definitely worth it. getting out to see, like the passing of the torch for America's team. It was fun.
And I'll just say shout out to, I believe it was Marcus Cannon, because he was sick that game already.
Yeah.
And they were talking about him barely being able to put on his jersey and putting on his pads. He still went out there and played the whole game. And that whole game carried over to the next week in terms of sickness. You can definitely tell in that Houston game.
Yeah, that's
But, anybody that went out to the game is a warrior. I stayed at 6-string, and I stayed nice and dry. So there's no way I was going to do that.
Dry.
Because
Babz.
it's been 2 straight weeks from the Cleveland game that they played to that Dallas game where they just had a completely rain-out game. And you were right. That was probably one of the worst weather games out there. Because I went to the Baltimore divisional game, and it was like 0 degrees outside. Hell, even last year's Chargers game, I'd rather be cold.
That was cold. I was at that game. Yeah. That was cold.
You can bundle up, though, and you can put on so many layers, whereas this, you're getting soaked. And
as soon as you're wet, you're done.
You're done.
You're done.
You're cooked. And I did that for the Cleveland game. And the Cleveland game, though, wasn't as bad because it was warmer out. But still, you're just standing there, and you're sopping wet, and then you go inside, and you're trying to warm up, and it doesn't matter. You take all your clothes off. So I wasn't going to go into that game. I give you all the credit for going in there. I mean, you're coming up, and it's like, it's my only chance to get in there for the year.
Yeah, why not?
So, and
but it was
a win's a win. It was just a win. Like, that's it. Got in, got out. That's it.
Came down to the very last second on that Brady throwaway on 4th down that tried to kill 5 seconds. That should have been the end of the game, but that was dumb. But nonetheless, very fun. And one thing, that same week in the NFL, I'm pretty sure was the game. I don't know if you guys saw this. It was all over Twitter about a guy in Chicago bringing a pumpkin pie and whipped cream into Soldier Field.
I saw that, yeah, on Barstool.
Security, they were pushing us through the security so quick to get people out of the rain. You could have brought 4 or 5 pumpkin pies in the Gillette last week. Patriots' last home game. Anyone could have brought anything into that stadium because it was raining. So bring your pumpkin pies.
Yeah.
Bring your gingerbread houses.
You got Kansas City coming in the Gillette.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are really scared of this game because Patrick Mahomes, former MVP candidate and all this stuff. And the reason why I'm not scared is because their defense is dog shit. I've actually never seen a worse. This is a really, really bad defense. I thought when Tyrann Mathieu came over from Houston.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a good thing.
I thought it was a good thing. I think he's ring chasing. This is a crazy AFC shakeup. Like, he's going to change that whole defense from the back end. And he's been very average. He's been very, very average and not have been a leader on that team. And
he's definitely fallen off since he left.
No direction.
Arizona.
They have no dominant leader on that defense, and it's showing. As soon as Justin Houston left, it's like they have no identity. Yeah. And it's really showing, and it's hurting them in the long run. And it's going to hurt them definitely when they come to Gillette.
I mean, just this week, though, it's going to be interesting because they've already lost to 2 mobile quarterbacks this year, Lamar Jackson, and they lost to Deshaun Watson last week. So, Pat Mahomes, you got to give him some credit because he's kept them in the games the last 2 years in a row. And I think, you know what, though, here's the thing, is that last year's defense, obviously this year's defense is way better. I mean, they have pretty much the same pieces. Last year's defense held Kansas City to, I believe, 9 points in the first half when they played them in week 6 or whatever, and they held them to whatever points, under 10 points in AFC title game.
I think it was 0. Was it 0?
0. Maybe it was 0. Yeah. They held them to 0 in the AFC title game. So the first halves of both of those games last year, they played phenomenal. They have to stick like that all 4 quarters this week. But you know what? They're coming off a loss, and they barely. I know you can say, well, they barely lose back to back. Well, last year they did it twice. They lost back to backs last year, but they're at home. This is the perfect setup to come off of a loss, take a bunch of emergency this week. I got my emergency as well too right here. You got to have that out. You can stock up and beat Kansas City. And this is a beatable Kansas City team. They're not the same team as last year. Like you said, defense should be beatable. Brady played well last week too against Houston, so this is the game that they should be going out there. I would love to see N'Keal Harry have a true breakout game. And finally, it's good weather. I was just looking up the schedule, and they haven't had a good weather home game since week 6, and that was the Thursday night game.
It's an advantage.
They played against the Giants, and you know what? It feels like they've been on the road most of the season already. They haven't had just look at this. I mean, they played they have 3 out of the next 4 games are at home. Yeah. They've been on the road.
We got a lot of the divisional games.
They had 7 road games so far. It's just they've been on the road nonstop. So this is the perfect time to get a huge win against Kansas City. I'm saying at least a 10-point win against Kansas City. I don't care if it's 24-14 or 34-24, whatever it is. Good win because you're going to go to the Bengals. You're going to beat the Bengals, easily beat those Bengals. And then you're going to come back home for 2 more games against the Bills, too. That Bills game will be to pretty much secure the AFC East division.
Yeah. And that game's going to be very, very important. It's very, very good that we have home field, especially when the Bills are clicking on all cylinders. I think this game coming up next week is going to be, honestly, it probably will be the point in the season where you either know, like, yeah, we should be worried about this Patriots team, or no, everything's going to be fine again.
You can't, though, because last year,
you got to look at
last year they laid an egg in Pittsburgh. They looked terrible last year in Pittsburgh. They looked terrible, and people said at the same point, that was the game that you could tell whether they're going to be something or not. I mean, I will say this. 2 years ago, I was in Pittsburgh for that win, the Jesse James catch, whether he get a touchdown or not. And I said, and that was actually my first video that was like the big video that I did. And I said that was the AFC title game because you knew you were going home and you were going to win 2 games in a row. Right. And you knew that every year they always have the last 2 games at home. And you knew you were going to go home and you knew you're going to be, it's the home goes through Foxborough. And absolutely. If only San Fran could have won that game against Baltimore. And I will say this.
They were close.
Lamar Jackson took some big hits last week. How long is that going to last that he's a running back for that team? Because if you make him throw, he's going to make mistakes.
The thing is, though, that whole offense is based around him not sliding. And that's the advantage they have over against other mobile quarterbacks. Because no matter what you saw, whether it was Colin Kaepernick or even sometimes Michael Vick, he would go into slide mode right before he gets hit. Lamar doesn't do that. He takes hits and keeps going or tries to make a juke move and keep going. And that's where he's going to get hurt. He's going to get hurt sooner or later.
And it might work this season. It might work next season, but it's not going to last.
It's not sustainable.
It's a running back, right? That's what he is. It's a running back. And running back lives, their shelf life is like
3 years.
Yeah, average is 3 years. 3 to 4 years. Like, years. Yep. Yeah. So, and they're playing in the Bills, dude. Big game. This is a huge game in Buffalo. You talk about big games. That Patriots game was such a huge game. You could feel it in the air. It was a playoff game. And that was the beginning of the season. That was week 4. Imagine this game this weekend in Buffalo, 1 o'clock. Those fans are going to be loud. When I was at that game, week 4 in Buffalo, and I loved it. I love it. We stood the entire time. Those fans were on their feet for the entire game. And this is a great test for Lamar Jackson to go. I still think Buffalo's frauds. This is a great test for Lamar Jackson to go into an environment like that and see if he can pull it out, because I still think he'll poop his pants. And I think that he'll do that in the playoffs as well, too. And if we can, and what a great Sunday will this be. If the Bills can beat the Ravens, then you beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And then me and Dito are chilling post-game with the players, and we got our little passes and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, boom, you control the destiny. You control the 1 seed, and that's what the Patriots need.
Yeah, but going back to this Sunday, though, against Kansas City, this is a huge matchup game.
Yeah.
I think it's a real reason why it's a matchup game is because what? Never mind. All right, matchup game. I think it's a matchup game because you have Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman, and they're both probably the fastest receivers in the league. Top 5 at least for both. We don't have that much speed in the secondary. Jason McCourty's slow and hurt. Devin McCourty can't keep up with Tyreek Hill. You saw it last year when he gave 2 touchdowns on those long routes. The big piece for this week, Jonathan Jones. I want to have him on Mecole Hardman or Tyreek Hill or both, depending on the sub package. I want coverage safety over the top with McCourty, and I want that's the tough part though, because you have to account for both of them. They're on the field both at the same time. And Sammy Watkins is still a threat, too. This is a very multifaceted offense. It's going to be interesting to see what Steven Belichick and Gerard May have put together for a game plan.
Mm-hmm. Was Jason McCourty out the last 2 weeks? I feel like he's been out.
No, he was out last week.
Last week, not the week before.
Yeah. But my thing on this game is my argument for it is you got to look at the teams the Patriots have beaten, but you also got to look at the ones we've lost to. I'm not sure the NFC East team we've beaten their division leader. That's probably the only one we have beaten, because if you look at the Baltimore, they're probably going to walk away with their division. You look at the Texans, I think they're going to walk away with their division. It's going to be close.
I'm rooting for Tennessee, dude.
Yeah, theirs is a lot closer.
Tannehill has whipped them into shape.
Theirs is a lot closer than Baltimore's, but you got to look at the Chiefs. they're definitely favored to win that division, and this is really going to be the first test that they're going to face against an AFC opponent that they will probably see in the postseason, and they got to prove that they're able to beat at least one of these teams. You can't go out losing to both to Baltimore,
you can't pull it down
Houston.
Cowboys and lose to all these teams like over 500.
You're looking at all these memes about the Cowboys not beating these teams. You got to like nervously like look at our schedule and say, huh.
I will say this. I mean, if the season ended today and it would end up being, I believe, Buffalo versus Kansas City in the wild card game, and the other game would be the Houston Texans versus like the Steelers or the Titans or whoever the other wild card is.
Yeah.
And if Houston wins and Kansas City wins, you have a better shot of Kansas City going into Baltimore with the upset than you do like a Houston or something like that. So the Pats, like again, and that we said that last year about Kansas City because Kansas City could have lost that 1 seed game. But I also look at Lamar Jackson too. If he has that bye week, it's not going to help him. I feel like it's not going to help that team at all having that extra week off when they're hot. But real quick, we should talk about Houston. Houston was an awesome time. People don't understand my schedule because I work for a living. Like I actually have a job and my schedule from last week to right now has been absolutely bananas. I worked 16 hours straight. Then it was Thanksgiving and I slept for 3 hours, did Thanksgiving, slept for 3 hours, packed my bag, went to work for 8 hours, got out, slept for 3 hours, went back into work for 16 hours, got out, hopped on a plane, flew down to Dallas, drove 4 hours down to Houston, finally took a shower after 24 hours of traveling, went right out because we had to go out to the Patriots party. Awesome. This one woman, Adrian, she met me. Awesome. She started crying. She's like, it's like she saw John Lennon in 1964 and I'm from the Beatles. Like she was crying. It's crazy doing the Instagram shit and meeting all these people down in Texas and they love everything that I do, man. They love what we do, dude. They love Ride the Wave, man. Like it's we have fans out there. It's absolutely bananas to see that. So it was great. The people were great. The tailgate's great. Next year is going to be interesting. Why I'm rooting for Tennessee personally is because the winner of the AFC South is going to be the road game for the Patriots next year. So it's either going to be in Houston or it's either going to be in Tennessee. So I want Nashville because Nashville's a fun ass fucking time and that'll be a great road trip. And yes, it does suck. We had seats in the 500s. I brought my Boogeymen are done, by the way. The Boogeymen are done. I went to I Love Boston Sports. I brought that banner twice now. The Boogeyman banner. They lost both times on the road. I left the banner there. I was like, I left it. I was like, I'm done with this. I'm done with the Boogeymen. I'm done with that whole shit. They're good. They're a good defense. Yes. I'm done with the nickname now. Just go fuck out there and play. That's it. Just go play and go get the job done. That's what it is.
Well, they lost that
title the Boogeyman afterwards.
37 points. They lost that title as soon as they let 37 points up.
Well, every great defense, I think you're allowed one bad game, but
I don't care.
That was the bad game.
I'm done with it. I'm done with them because you know what? You're gonna get me. Ooh, the Boogeyman. I'm done with it too. I know. We'll talk about it afterwards. The game. What hurt them the most was at the start with Brady and the pick, and that pick ended up leading into a touchdown right off the bat, and that a lot of miscues by some of the routes. That's what, again, you're watching things develop up there, and certain plays, I can't name shit off the top of my head. Certain things didn't go their way. Then towards the end of the game, they weren't playing with any sense of urgency, and they still could have won that game. They just weren't going down there.
If you watch the last 2 minutes of the game, it's like both teams are like, the game's final score has already been set, but let's just run the clock out. Yeah,
and
defense and offense.
Weren't trying, and it kind of sucks to say that they weren't trying. Yet Bolden is a tip away from getting the ball back and them having a shot at winning. So you can't, and it's funny because we could say that this way. And say that they had no sense of urgency and they weren't trying, yet they still could have won that game if they tried. If they really did try, they could have won that game and pulled it out.
Yeah, a lot of times in these football games, you look at the last few plays as like the deciding factors, but you got 45 other minutes leading up to this moment and these moments right here. But you look at the end of that game and I wasn't letting myself like have any hope at the end. Like it's like, Patriots can come back. I've seen crazier things happen before. Yep. I think whoever was calling that game said the exact same thing. But you're down two possessions, and you get in the you get the ball back under a minute and a half to play. Brady goes 2 for 2 and a 30-yard completion and a 20-yard completion to get a touchdown. I'm like, this could still happen. But like,
But that right
they missed
there
the onside kick a few plays before.
that right there just shows like Brady still has it. It's not like he's washed up. People calling him washed up are idiots. Peyton Manning was washed up in his last season because he was literally throwing balls that were going like this, like
noodle arm McGee.
He literally had the noodle arm. Brady doesn't have that. Brady might be over.
This team's comparable to that 2016 Broncos team. The great defense and a quarterback that's not performing at his top
Brady
level.
never got benched this season. Like Manning got benched that season because he fucking sucked, and he got benched for Brock Osweiler, which Brock Osweiler beat the Patriots that year.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that happened in that road game.
Yeah.
Listen.
No game.
Forbath missed was an extra point.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone immediately. We don't even got to worry about that guy.
Jake Bailey, I've been waiting for this. Jake Bailey is going to
I think it's happening this week.
It's going to happen this week. I called it. I went out there and I said that this was going to happen because Jake Bailey is a kicker and a punter, and they were waiting. They're not going to waste him all season long and be like, all right, like let's have you do this week 4 because of the injuries. Now it's finally time to like, you know what? Fuck it. We're not going to get any more kickers. Let's just stick with Bailey. I think personally, don't go for 45 yards. Don't go for 40 yards. Just go for it. Trust your defense, and that's what they're going to have to do. But
trust me, this will be a good edit. This will be a good edit.
I like Jake Bailey a lot. I think that this is finally Jake Bailey's time. And this is probably the reason why Belichick drafted him. And he's going to kick the game-winning field goal in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Game-winning field goal in the Super Bowl.
And start a new legacy like Vinatieri. My thing, let's do some simple addition here. Join me. We've all been to elementary school. We know how to do simple addition. So most NFL teams, they have A, a kicker, B, a punter. You know what's fun when they're the same person? There's only one. And that extra one, that's an extra roster spot for wide receiver help.
Oh, okay, yeah. But you never. No, it's not happening.
Something's happening. I would if Dez Bryant gets the call. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Belichick loves his special teams. Belichick loves doing different things in the game. Belichick is a master of the 100 years of the NFL. He knows every little nook and cranny. He might pull a play from 1946 out this week. We don't know. Like, it's serious. And I'm sure back in the way day, because I actually remember I took a class in college about it and reading about the history. You know, back in the day, they used to just punt on third down. It was a game of inches in terms of field position. That's how it used to be played. Before the forward pass, it was just the run game, and you just punt the ball back and forth. And I bet it kind of makes Belichick smile a little bit deep down and be like, man, imagine this guy can punt and kick for us, and it works both ways. We just reinvented the special teams game because now you're going to start seeing more punters and kickers out there and only using one roster spot.
Yeah, it's already started with running backs and quarterbacks. Why not move to kickers and punters?
Kickers and punters that can do both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you saw this year that he drafted Bailey, and Bailey's a righty kicker, a righty punter. I mean, he usually goes for lefties. So it's like, oh, why is he doing that? Because it's a kicker. It says Dominic. He wants a righty kicker. So we'll see. I think this would be a great game for Bailey. Like, this would be an awesome game. Like, hits 3 field goals, like 2 extra points, has a nice perfect game.
Is he still leading the Pro Bowl votes for punters?
Has to be.
Has to
be.
Who else?
But guess what? He's not playing in the Pro Bowl because they're going to be playing in the Super Bowl this year.
You're right.
But I will say this.
All
anything
pro
Houston topic. They took a loss. Pro. Spike King took a W because he got tagged on Antonio Brown's Instagram. And let me tell you something. That's a shout out to Rune Dog because Rune Dog, the 2-minute drill, and I know Kyle Baxter helps out with them as well too, that Antonio Brown reached out to him a week ago and wanted that Christmas video. And he says, hey, can I have that? I want to post it. We sent it to him. Well, Rune Dog did. And he wrote back, like, awesome, thank you. And we just said, hey, make sure to give us a shout out, even though we stole the video, not our credit, whatever. So I knew, and then I did the Antonio Brown. Remember, I interviewed you, Brendan, and everything, and we did that at the 6 string, and I sent it to him, and he saw that. And me, deep down, doing that, I did that on purpose to show that he's like, okay, this kid fucks with me. Okay, this kid actually did what he said he was going to do, even if he doesn't post it. I'm gonna make this is my make-believe world. Okay, you're living in it right now.
Hypotheticals.
No, all hypotheticals. They're all true in my mind. So he ended up saving that video, that Christmas video, on purpose. I actually liked that they lost that game because I do want the media outcry and I do want all these people to come out and shit on them. You need talking, that. Yeah. You need the talk and the jabs so you can be like, oh, you want to fucking do this? Okay, we're going to win this game.
Exactly.
You want that. So Antonio Brown was sitting on that video and posted it. Rune Dog calls me. He posted the video but didn't tag us. I was like, well, dude, we took the video from Twitter. Who cares? So I messaged him with a 2-minute drill, and I said, "Don't forget at the Spike King." And I resent him the interview video, and then he said back, "Yes, sir, family. I got you, family." And then he tagged me on the Christmas video, which I was like, "Why?" It made no sense. I don't care. I gained 1,000 followers. I had 100,000 profile views this week. I was awesome. Jeez. I was excited. And guess what? All these players, even Dietrich Weiss was like, "Dude, do you know Antonio Brown? Because I see you got tagged on his video." See, these players see it too. So the Spike King always keeping himself out there in different ways. It was a Christmas miracle, and it's not even Christmas yet. It was awesome. So that got me hyped up after the game. I was like, "Fuck the game, dude." I was tagged on Antonio Brown's fucking.
Hey, you got to start making the list of players that you got you got Tom Brady in your DMs. You got Antonio Brown in your DMs. That's personal stuff.
I know. It's awesome. It's silly. It's silly, but it's funny. But
fun stuff.
And shout out to In-N-Out Burger, dude. And you know all about that, Brendan, right? In-N-Out.
Is the real deal?
I've got these life rules. We'll get late. I won't spill all the beans on some of the rules my life revolves around, but I think it's rule number 5. If you live in a state with In-N-Out, In-N-Out is not as good. Don't get me wrong. First time I had In-N-Out, great experience, delicious. I was out in California, but I go to school in Arizona now, and we've got an In-N-Out like 10 minutes up the road. And when you have the opportunity to have In-N-Out whenever you want, it's not as special. It loses its flair. It loses the energy, the excitement, even a little bit of the flavor.
I will say I ate In-N-Out twice. I had 3 burgers. They were delicious. The fries, not a fan of the fries. Nothing special about them. I had Whataburger because Mikey wanted me to get Whataburger, and it absolutely sucked. It's inconsistent. I had Whataburger when I first went to Texas a couple of years ago with T-Guns. By the way, Texas is a great state. I love it. I don't care if I had to drive 4 hours back and forth to Houston, Dallas. It's a straight shot. You go to Buc-ee's on the way there. Something to look forward to. Buc-ee's is an awesome, little big ass convenience Walmart store. In-N-Out, it's amazing. The fries aren't that good, but I feel in a couple years, In-N-Out's going to start expanding up north, and it's not going to be the same. And like you said, it loses its luster. Yeah. And like you said, I like to travel because I like to eat. And I like to eat all this junk food and shit like that, obviously. But
so do I. I do that all the baseball parks.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, it's so true. Like Fenway Franks, I get sick of the food up here. You gotta try it all the time. Yeah, exactly.
But it's fun to travel. Get on the road. Get some local eats.
I might go to Cincinnati, and here's my thing. So Cincinnati coming up next week. I have to get one more day off of work. I got hit up by this guy. He's like, "Hey, I want to give you, do you want to go to the game?" I was like, I don't know. He goes, "I have a ticket for you. Row 1 in the corner of the end zone for the Spike King. No problem." He's like, "My girlfriend can't go. I need someone to go with." I look up this guy's Instagram. This guy's flying on private planes to fucking Abu Dhabi. He's going to Kansas City, sitting row 1 for the AFC title game. This guy follows the Spike King. I need to go to the game with him. The big thing in Cincinnati, I don't know if any of you have ever been, probably not, is chili. They have chili on spaghetti. That's their big thing over there.
On spaghetti?
Yeah. So they have they actually have this famous place in Cincinnati. I got to go find it. And it's just chili dogs, and they take a plate of spaghetti and they put chili on top of it. It's supposed to be their famous thing. So I want to try that. That's one of my things. That's why I love traveling around. We try all these different ballpark foods. You try these different places that are notorious for something. I had Chicago deep dish pizza. Wasn't a fan.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either.
It's overrated.
Yeah. Stafford, what do you think about deep dish?
I'm not a big deep dish guy. Honestly.
Yeah, see, deep dish suck.
I don't like deep dish either, but I'm not really a big thin crust either. I like just a normal pizza.
You can get plenty of good pizza around here in New England.
Plenty. I just want a good pizza. Yeah. All right, let's move into some NFL picks. I don't think we're gonna have a lot of time to explain them, so we're not gonna dive in deep to why we're picking. We're just gonna bang them out real quick.
All right, we'll do
rapid fire.
Tonight we got the Cowboys and the Bears. Who you guys got tonight?
Stafford, you can go first with all your picks.
Dallas.
I'm taking the Bears tonight. You take a money line. The Bears are the real deal. 2 straight wins. Dallas are frauds.
I'm taking the Cowboys too. First real W they get against a 500 team. Moving into Sunday's action, we got the Colts and the Buccaneers.
Colts. They have to rebound after that loss. They have to stay in that division and the wild card.
Mm-hmm. I'm going with the Colts too. The Buccaneers are just not a good football team.
I'm going with the Buccaneers here simply because I don't want to sweep you guys, but
Bucks are favored in that game -3, which is
the Bucks are all right.
Take the Colts.
They're not playing the playoffs.
I believe my guy Jacoby. Right. I believe.
All right, moving into some AFC East action, we got the Dolphins taking on the Jets in New Jersey.
No one cares, dude. Miami.
It's a big divisional game, man.
Miami's coming off that big win against the Eagles. Take Miami.
I'm gonna say Sam Darnold bounces back. I'm going with the Jets.
Okay, I'm going with the Dolphins. I think basically for the same reason as
Babz. The Dolphins are the first team ever to incorrectly tank. They're literally the first team.
They were like the favorite
to
for the
not
number
be able
one
to tank. Right?
Well, we don't know what Tua's situation is.
I know. Once they saw Tua go down, they're like,
what about
might
Joe
as well
Burrow?
start winning games. Try again next year.
Burrow?
Joe Burrow. He's good. Moving into Sunday games, we got the 49ers taking on the Saints in a 10-2 matchup in the Superdome.
I'm going with the Saints. I'm going with the Saints. I think the Niners keep reeling. I think that the Saints keep on thriving.
Who else did the Niners lose to?
Baltimore and
Seattle.
Okay,
Seattle. Okay.
Yeah, Seattle.
Which are two playoff teams, two big playoff contenders right there. Now, if you imagine
losing
if
the Niners lose this game, Seattle could leapfrog them and take that bye from them.
Yeah.
So,
wow, that's tough. I'll take the Saints just because they're at home. Like it's and I don't believe in the Saints. Remember, I'm off their dick now. I don't believe in them anymore. But I'll take them in this game because I think it's interesting to lose to the Ravens, to lose to the Seahawks, and the Saints all in the same season. That's pretty telling for the 49ers.
I'm going with the 49ers here. I think they are legit. I've watched a handful of their games. They look very, very good to the eye test. Moving into another game, we got the Lions taking on the Vikings. Vikings are still perfect at home.
Vikings are favored 12.5 points. I think that's way too much.
12.5?
Too much. 12.5. That's what it says.
God.
That's too much. I'll take the Vikings just to win. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Vikings to win too, but not to cover. Oh my God. 12.5?
I'm looking at some of these bets. I think I might take this. Some tasty.
You should,
I think the Vikings cover that spread. I think they do. The Lions are on like their number 3 quarterback, I think, right now.
You get a half a point if they do that. That would be the tiebreaker.
Yeah. They cover. Few more. Man, there's a lot of morning games this week. We got the Broncos taking on the Texans.
No more buys. That's why.
No more buys. Yeah.
Texans.
I'm taking the Texans as well. But to give credit, Drew Lock did look pretty good.
Drew Lock looks pretty good.
He looks pretty good.
I think that might be the first good quarterback John Elway's drafted.
You just jinxed him.
Yeah, you're probably right. Hell, why not? I've been on the Broncos a lot this season. Why not give them their 5th win of the season in Houston? No one expects it to happen, but I think it will. Moving on, we got the Redskins taking on the Packers.
Packers, yeah. Packers, easy.
Packers, easy.
That's not a tough one at all.
But Dwayne Haskins, he's in trouble. He can't lead at all. You see that video came out
of
the
selfie.
Offensive line? That was bad. He told the leader of the offensive
look.
line to shut up while he was saying, "What can I do to make you do your job better?"
And then he literally does not do his job.
Literally, it's scary. They're in trouble.
Oh, we got a fun AFC North battle between the Bengals and the Browns.
Bengals win their second straight win. Straight win in a row. The Browns, I don't trust the Browns. I don't trust them at all. Bengals coming off a big solid win against the Jets. Keep themselves going on.
Andy Dalton's back, baby.
The Red Rifle's back. No, but I would actually be inclined to agree with you, Babz. But the emergence of Kareem Hunt in that offense has got them a little bit more spread out, a little bit more favorable matchup. So I'm going with Cleveland.
I'm also taking the Browns. I think they're just the much more talented team. It's not even close. Next, we got the Ravens taking on the Bills, and probably one of the best games of the week.
Actually, this is the most rushing yards between quarterbacks in NFL history over the first 2 seasons, something like that. It's like historic kind of, which is weird to think about.
Going to be a very important game for the Patriots.
Patriots
will watch this one.
Oh, taking the Bill. I'm going to go with Baltimore because I just don't think that their defensive line is going to be able to keep up with the Baltimore offensive line.
I think the Bills win by 10 points because this crowd is going to be rocking. This crowd's excited. They're electric. They're coming off a huge, huge win in Dallas on Thanksgiving. So they've had extra days of rest. You know that they've been excited for this. The fans are going to be in it, and Lamar Jackson's not going to be able to keep up with it. They're going to make him throw.
Cole Beasley's an X factor in that game. Baltimore has no one to cover Cole Beasley.
Yeah, I think the Bills are going to win that game. I do. I think at the end of the day, the Patriots are going to be back in first place, but Baltimore's only going to be one game behind them in the division, which is crazy to think about. Patriots not even winning their division this year. Next, we got the Panthers taking on the Falcons. Is Kyle Allen real? Is he good?
I don't really he was good for a couple of weeks, but then they got tape on him and it started to slow down a little bit. So I don't know. They're gonna keep him around at least when Cam's gone.
Oh, totally.
But they're probably gonna draft somebody unless Will Grier really shows out in the offseason. But Panthers lose this one.
I'm gonna say Falcons gonna take this one with the Riverboat Ron just got fired this past week. I think that was a bad decision to do it during the midseason like that. They should have waited out the entire season, then let him go.
Yeah.
I think some of the players that have been around him are not a big fan of that, and that's going to hurt the morale of the team going forward. I mean, they're done. Their season's done, but
he was loved in that city. Like he brought that team. I mean, granted they didn't win the Super Bowl, but he got them there almost on an undefeated season.
Yeah, exactly. I just think that ruins the team chemistry in general for some of these guys like Cam Newton and Greg Olsen and what's his face, Luke Kuechly.
It's a new regime coming. I wouldn't be surprised if Luke Kuechly does get traded in the offseason, and I think Greg Olsen's going to retire.
And Cam Newton's going to be out of there. So you're right.
Olsen's in that same boat as Gronk.
Yeah, he kind of is.
Yeah, I'm going with the Falcons here, the most inconsistent or consistently inconsistent team in NFL history. I have no reason why I'm picking them.
They're the Red Sox of the NFL.
Yeah. Let's see. Moving into the afternoon games. Yeah, Chargers at the Jaguars.
I'm taking Minshew Mania.
It's back.
He's back.
It's back.
I am taking Minshew Mania. He has dethroned Big Dick Nick, and he is coming to annihilate Phillip Rivers, who will be benched during the game.
Ooh, I like that. I'm going to take Jaguars as well, too. Again, it's just 2, 4, and 8 teams, so the game doesn't even matter. But Minshew coming back, a little chip on the shoulder to reprove himself to everybody.
I'm taking the Chargers here, but honestly, my reasoning is because this is a playoff team from last year with a lot of the same roster, and they have won 4 games this year. They're due for one. Next up, we got the Titans at the Raiders.
So, Brendan.
Come on, Babz.
This pick's going to shock you. I am taking the Tennessee Titans.
Wow.
For the first time in Boston's Big 3 history, Babz did not take the Oakland Raiders to win a game.
I am officially off the Raiders train this season.
I'm telling you.
To lose back-to-back games, blown out back-to-back games, by the way, against the Jets and then Kansas City. That's it. Their season's done. Their season's over. Pack it up. Hey, I believe in them next year. I'll pick them next year for the AFC title game. Their time will come in the next 10 years, but their time will come. I'm done with them. I'm picking Tennessee. Tennessee's picking it up right now.
Tannehill keeps rolling, and I get a lot of credit to Mike Vrabel. I said it the last time I was on the show. He's really designed that system to fit Tannehill's strengths, and I've really seen a lot of improvement in his game.
You taking the Titans?
Taking the Titans.
12 touchdowns and 4 interceptions for Tannehill this season.
That's just
8 games.
That's just a change of quarterback. That happens the first time when you bring in a new like Tannehill's. He's a good quarterback. He was good in Miami. But Babz, you may have gone off the train. I'm still on it. You got me on it. I'm still on it. The Raiders are good. They're going to be one game over 500 by this time next week. They're going to be 7-6. Oakland's only lost one home game this year. Like, those Oakland fans are showing out, and they're making a difference at that stadium. They've lost one home game. I think it was to the Chiefs at the beginning of the season. Yeah, this is like their one last ride. They're going to show
on the wagon.
The Raiders are back.
My surfboard's in the shed right now. I ain't riding that wave anymore.
Next up, we got the Chiefs coming to Foxborough, taking on the Patriots.
Patriots, and this has got to be, I mean, I think what the line is right now, it's only 3, but I think this is the big statement game. The Patriots need it. Been saying it every week, the Patriots need a big statement game. This has to be coming off a loss. Has to be. And hopefully everyone's, the sickness is gone, and we'll see what ends up happening, though. Patriots,
New England Patriots by 10. N'Keal Harry, 2 touchdowns.
Whoa.
Hopefully.
Double his career high. That's easy math for me. So those are the type of numbers I know.
I would love to see a defensive back from the Chiefs cover N'Keal Harry 1-on-1 down the field. Love to see it.
I'm excited. I'm happy you guys take Pats every week because I already wrote it down. If you didn't take the Pats, I would change your vote anyway. Next up, we got the Steelers and the Cardinals in how long ago did they play in the Super Bowl? Super Bowl rematch.
2009?
2009, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going with Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. Their defense is dead last in yards, so that's not really helpful, but they're playing their fourth-string quarterback, who did play well. Granted, he did play well.
What's his name? Duck? I think his name's Duck.
Yeah, that's Duck.
It's pretty cool.
Duck. I don't know his last Duck, whatever his last name is.
It doesn't matter.
Well in the last couple
name
of games,
Duck,
so give him some credit. But I'm going with Kyler Murray. He's actually shown me a lot more than I thought he had in his bag. They're asking him to throw 40, 50 passes a game, and he's doing it, and he's doing it pretty well, too.
That's why I was drafted first overall. It's like the Lamar Jackson era. Everyone sees like what a mobile quarterback can do, and take him.
I'm gonna take the Steelers in this game, but they just squeak out with a victory, like a 2-point win, something like that. I gotta give credit to Tom. When we shat on him earlier this year and said that he should go, and he kind of is saving his job right now, which the fans of Pittsburgh want him gone. Like most of them want him. They want a new regime. They want something different there. But he's literally at least saving his job, not only for Pittsburgh, but saving his job to go somewhere else either. Like so he'll get picked up right away. So.
If he left Pittsburgh, he'd get a head coaching job somewhere.
100%. Yeah. Just like Riverboat Ron, he's gonna get picked up somewhere really quick. But
it's different though. I think I don't know. I'm not sold on being a great coach. I'm really still not sold on. He inherited.
I don't think he's a good coach. I just think he's just his ass got saved this season. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going with the Steelers here in a close game, but Steelers maintain their hold on the AFC North. Moving into the Sunday Night Football game, we got the Seahawks and the Rams.
Seahawks been a great road team this year. Seahawks have pulled up a lot of great games. You got to take this, and the Rams are favored in this game. It's a pick 'em, but the Rams are favored -1 right now. So take the Seahawks. I know. Take the Seahawks.
I'm picking the team where the quarterback threw a touchdown in November. I'm gonna pick that. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Seattle. Jared Goff. I actually, my friend told me this. Think about it. What is Jared Goff good at? Like really good at? Can you give me like one area of his game where he's really good?
He used to be really good at giving the ball to Todd Gurley, and that's fallen off.
No, but seriously, he's not wicked mobile. He's not wicked athletic. He doesn't have a great deep ball. Doesn't have a great short ball. His spiral isn't always tight. He isn't always accurate. His arm strength could be improved. Like, he's not great at anything, and that's the reason why they're not going to go anywhere.
It's tough looking back at that draft and, like, choosing right now, like, would you rather have Carson Wentz or Jared Goff? Kind of like the same thing as a few years ago.
Yeah.
Like, you look back at it now, would you rather have Jameis Winston or Marcus Mariota? It's like the same exact thing happening all over again.
Just real quick, just cherry pick stats. Seattle on a 5-game win streak, and the Rams are 1-2 in the division, with Seattle's 3-0 in the division game. So take it for what it's worth. And this is actually a great game to pretty much say the Rams are done in the division. There's still wild card hope. They still have that because they're only a game behind Minnesota. But they could pretty much try to kind of get them out of the division race.
Yeah, Rams are hungover. Seahawks are good at football. I think they're one of my Super Bowl favorites right now in the NFC. I think Seahawks win that game by a million. Let's see. Monday Night Football game. We got the Giants taking on the Eagles.
Believe in Eli Manning is back.
Yeah.
Eli Manning is back. Imagine Eli Manning, who was benched this season, coming into Philadelphia and getting the win over the 5-7 Eagles. And you know what's crazy is because Dallas is going to lose tonight, and they're going to be 6-7 or whatever. And the Eagles are going to lose, and they're going to end up being 5-8. And there's still one of them is going to win the division with a shitty ass record.
That's insane that a team that's under 500
yeah,
win
I never really thought I'd be saying this beginning of the season, but I'm going with Eli Manning. I'm going with the Giants.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I'm right there with you. I'm taking the Eli comeback game. I think this is like one of his final shining moments since Daniel Jones was hurt, and that's the only reason he's not playing.
You want to make some money out there, right? You want to make some money. The Eagles are favored 9.5 points. You take the Giants money line. You just throw $20 down, dude. You're gonna win like 100.
Yeah.
You're gonna win 100, dude. Like that's that money line right now. I need to see that. How tasty this is. It's a tasty money line. They don't have it yet. Where's the money line? I need a money line on it. Usually they have it right out there. Take the Giants.
That wraps up our NFL picks. We'll definitely have those records for you next week to get back on track. Get everyone's final records thus far up to date,
including some weeks.
Yeah.
I still claim the only undefeated week. Want that on record.
I think you missed one. You didn't have all the games on the schedule though.
That's what happened. You
didn't go through all the games, but still like 9-10 wins. That was fun. moving into some other Boston's talk. Boston's got more teams than just the Pats and football. We got the Bruins, and let me tell you, these Boston Bruins are something.
David Pastrnak for MVP.
Oh, they are something to be messed with, man. Oh, well.
See you later.
The Boston Bruins are something to be messed with. We definitely have to get one of the puckhead guys on here, either Lane or Bruins Warrior, to talk about those guys, because I can't go super in depth. I just know from the eye test, this team is so good. I've only been out to one game, probably the most exciting game of the season thus far, being down 2 goals in the final 2 minutes, pull the goalie, score 2, get on the power play, take it to OT, and win in less than a minute, basically. But the Boston Bruins are undefeated at home, or in regulation. Asterisk in regulation. They lost 1 OT.
12-0-4 at home this year. And speaking in Boston, I just posted on Ride the Wave today. All Boston teams are undefeated at home in their respective seasons this year. Crazy. I don't know. I'm not much of a hockey guy. I don't watch too much. They look good. They're playing good. They're hot. I'm betting on them tonight, -1.5. They got to win by 2 goals. I like it because they're playing the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks are a poopy team this year. Yeah. And
you'll love to see that.
You got a lot of home cooking, dude. Hockey's a long season, just like basketball. It's a long season, but it's a lot of puck luck. Thing about hockey is they could be the one seed and they can lose like in the first round because
I saw that as Tampa last year.
Yep, it could happen. So you can't buy too much into it. Just got to keep playing consistent. Stay healthy. That's it. Stay healthy. And I think Pasternak's on pace for how many goals? Like 70.
He's like matched like Gretzky's goals. Like through I think 25 games, he had 24 goals, and that is an unreal pace. It's hard to say that. Oh yeah, there's no way he's going to keep that up. But looking at the way this team is playing, they're going to feed him, and he's going to get a lot of chances every single game. And there's no reason that he shouldn't be able to make some noise in the record books this year. But again, Boston Bruins, very good. We'll definitely got to invite the puck.
Bruins! Try to do my K-Mezzy.
We definitely got to get one of the hockey guys on here to tell us exactly what is working for that team right now.
They should just have a hockey podcast.
Honestly. They invited me on it, but it doesn't exist yet. So I think we got some DMs this week.
And also the Celtics, man.
Celtics are good too. Yeah.
Celtics are good. Celtics keep cruising.
Celtics beat
the
Heat
They don't have no Gordon Hayward. Fuck Kyrie. Kyrie didn't show up.
Kyrie
had to write it on Instagram.
That pissed me off. Like, I was upset about the Cowboys tickets being super expensive because of the rain and everything. But then I spent $150 to get lower level and to boo Kyrie at this return game. And what does the coward do a week before? You're like, my shoulder's still sore, man.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna play. I'm not even gonna travel with the team. It's like my shoulder's so hurt that I can't get on a plane. I can't get on the bus to the arena.
Stupid.
I've read something on Twitter that he hasn't played an away game yet at Cleveland either.
Yeah.
Not a single one.
He's soft.
That's bad. That's really bad. That's not a good look for him. It's not a single away game. There is one more chance this season in beginning of March that the Celtics play the Nets in TD Garden again.
March 13th or right around that time.
Yeah, very beginning of March, but it definitely falls there. And that may be the very first time Kyrie plays an away game at his former team. I'd be willing to put money on it right now. Like, there's got to be a line somewhere about if Kyrie plays that game 3 months in advance. I doubt it. But fun time nonetheless. Kendrick Perkins was at the game. I know you got to do some stuff with Perk.
Kev killed it.
Yeah, last week.
Kev had a funny little video with that, and ESPN invited us out to do a little video, and they said there was going to be a surprise guest, and it ended up being Kendrick Perkins. So that was pretty cool. What stinks is I had to work during the game. We were invited out, and ESPN was there. We probably would have got another interview or something like that too. You missed. There's a lot of opportunities out there for us, and you got to take every shot. You got to be out there at all times. So a little upset about that, but it was cool seeing him. Really nice dude. We just talked for a couple minutes and went on our way. Smaller than what I thought. I thought it was a lot taller.
I'm not. He is a fun guy. He was fun. He was interacting with fans all night at the arena. I know you were there for a little bit, right?
No, I didn't even go.
You
wasn't
didn't?
even
Okay.
there. No,
Okay.
I was there.
Totally. But when I was leaving Boston, it was the night after that game. He was at the airport the very next morning. I got to meet him. Like all of us got to meet Kendrick Perkins. That
that was cool. You sent us that photo.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool, man.
24-hour span. It's like, hey, I like literally turned the corner at Logan and just like, I thought it was Rick Ross for a second. Huh. That's Kendrick Perkins. Honestly, I hadn't even thought about Perk in the last 4-5 years until like you guys made the video with him. Probably the only reason I recognize him. Got to talk to him. He asked me where to get breakfast in Boston at 5 a.m. in the morning.
At the Logan Airport?
Yeah, I was like, dude, the only thing that's open is Dunks right now.
Yeah.
Only thing that you can find that can maybe fill you. That dude probably eats like 3,000 calories a meal though. Still, he's a big boy.
Well, his stomach, yeah.
Yeah.
That white didn't look good on him at the game.
That was interesting.
I'm very good at keeping myself looking slim in certain areas. I've seen pictures of me and I'm like, dude, that's bad. Other times I'm like, I look good. You gotta always be careful. You gotta have a little self-awareness, Kendrick Perkins.
But as I'm stated in previous shows, I'm contractually obligated to talk about baseball. The Red Sox just parted ways with Sandy Leon, traded him to the Cleveland Indians. So World Series champion. Thank you, Sandy, for everything you did. Fun guy to watch. Fun guy in the clubhouse. Great locker room guy. He will be missed in Boston, especially for the pitchers who loved pitching with him.
I got 3 baseball questions for you. Number 1.
Go for it.
What's going on with Mookie Betts?
Mookie Betts is staying in Boston. Breaking news. He's staying in Boston. I'll tell you. I got no sources on this. I doubt he gets moved. There's the new management is definitely cutting payroll. We've already seen it with a few contracts, but they're definitely going to cut the payroll. I think Mookie's staying in Boston solely because it's a 1-year rental on one of the best players in baseball right now, and there's not a lot of teams that have the depth and that desire to like, yeah, we're going to win the World Series next year with this guy on our team. You look at American League teams, you look at National League teams. I know one that was being briefly mentioned was the Atlanta Braves, who are in a win now situation, and they have a deep farm system, so that could be a potential destination if he ends up getting moved. I do not think Mookie Betts is getting moved. I think he will play out that final year of his contract in Boston. I know that's what the people want to hear. He will be manning right field for at least the next year and test free agency next fall.
Number 2, is Nike taking over the jerseys?
Nike owns MLB now. Nike is now the official jersey for basketball, football, in the NFL, NBA, and now baseball in Major League Baseball. All the former Majestic. I don't know if I got one lying around right over there, but Majestic is done with. Their contract expired. Nike. It was supposed to be Under Armour for a bit. I'm kind of happy it's not, because I feel like those jerseys would have been a little weird. But Nike got in, bought the contract, literally $1 billion contract probably for the next few years. I'm not sure how long it is, but there's going to be a little Nike patch or like Nike logo on every single baseball jersey from here on out, over pinstripes, over everything. It's going to look a little different than just having a logo on the sleeve.
If you love jerseys, though, this is a great time, like Tito was talking about, to buy the Majestic version.
All the
they're going to
Majestic
be all on sale. Everything's going to be on sale, so you can still buy your favorite player, because no one really cares, deep down, unless you're really a jersey nerd, like that fucking jersey nerd that I got in a fight with. But number 3, you love going to ballparks. You like trying new things. Globe Life Field, I believe that's what it's called. It's going to be in Arlington. It's going to be opening up. I saw a couple pictures of it. I was actually digging some research last night. Looks pretty cool. It's going to be an indoor stadium finally. That's what they need down in Texas, because it gets 110 degrees down there.
Hot, yeah.
And I seen that they have like an Xfinity Live type of thing that's over there. It's called Texas Live. That's, I think, already opened, but that area is good. Will you be there in 2020 to see a Red Sox-Texas game?
I think the Red Sox are on the schedule to take on Texas. I'm pretty sure the Red Sox are on Texas' schedule, to visit.
They always go. They go there every year. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's there. I will do my best. I'm gonna have to look at the schedule. I've got a few trips
probably in June. They'll be down
definitely,
there in June.
Definitely gonna make it out.
Schedule already out.
Opening. Yeah, it's out. It's out. I'm definitely gonna find my way. Definitely out to Fenway. I love visiting new ballparks, especially a brand new one that's in its very first year. It's gonna be fun to stop by and see all the new traditions, what they bring over, because the new ballpark's only 30 feet away from the former one. It's going to be fun, though.
I'm looking this up right now.
Yeah. I know they're on the schedule.
This is why I'm going on dead air right now. They play Texas at Fenway. Oh, May 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in May. They're at Texas.
I might do that.
No, you're gonna do that. We'll go together. That's breaking news. I'm gonna bring you to that game. I'll make sure you get out there.
Absolutely. I graduate like 2 weeks before that, so I'll have all the free time in the world.
Oh, so that's your graduation gift from Ride the Wave to you.
Oh,
I think that's the only time they play in Texas as well too. I like going to Texas, and I know I like going down there. I like to do the stadium tour, probably of the Cowboy Stadium and this and that, and it's always a fun time. So we'll make some
absolutely fun stuff. I think it's about time we get into the direct messages.
Slide in those DMs.
Let's check the DMs. What do we got?
I'll name off a couple. Okay. First of all,
you don't got.
I'm gonna name them off I'm only gonna pick and choose here. Edwin Vanna Averero. Do you think Brady will retire as a Patriot? 100%. Yes. He's not going anywhere else.
You gotta be a buffoon to think Brady's not retiring as a Patriot. The amount of stuff that the organization's done for him. Granted, there's some few questionable decisions this year, but
Tom Brady. Could be frustrated at the Patriots, be like, you know what? I'm just going to retire. See you later. I don't need to do this anymore. But Brady ain't going to pack up his bags and go to like Nashville. He ain't going to pack up his bags and go to San Diego. He ain't doing that because then he's going to uproot his whole entire family to go somewhere else. That's like why Phillip Rivers hated to go to LA. His whole family is now in San Diego, and they had to give him a special bus that goes back and forth to San Diego to LA. They had to do all these extra special requests for him. He didn't want to move. So that's the same case with Brady. He's not going to move anywhere. Stupid. Brady's going to retire as a Patriot.
People were up in arms a few weeks ago about Brady selling his house and Alex Guerrero selling his house in Massachusetts. I got the inside source. My aunt is a real estate agent. This is probably online already. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it anywhere. But Brady bought a house in Greenwich, Connecticut, which, if you know, it's like close, like north or southwest corner by New York. Like a lot of people work in New York, commute from Connecticut, from that area. So
Vince McMahon lives there.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good move.
That's where all the millionaires live. That's where the billionaires live. They live in Greenwich, Connecticut. Yeah, and it's right. You know, you take 95.
You don't gotta live in the
city.
If you want to go to the city, you can. It's close enough.
No, it's good for his kids. His kids stay away from the city, but then he's going to build the TB12 brand. Here's the thing about TB12.
He's going to start spreading.
He wants to put it in New York City. He wants to have a TB12. You know how it's in Boston? He wants to have one in New York City where people can train. Because when he's done with his career, whether he stays at 6 or he wins 8, whatever it is, people are going to be like, oh, wow, this is the home of 6-time champion Tom Brady. Like, that's what he's building, a fitness brand. He's building a nutrition plan. And there's no better place than being in the heart of America, pretty much, New York City, where everything, all business happens. And he ends up doing that.
It's going to start spreading because it was in Foxborough. Now it's on Boylston, like literally downtown Boston and maybe New York City in the near future.
And it will sell. Willie_Willie_2. Do you think we could pick up Odell next year if he's looking to move on to the Browns?
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Brady.
What's Odell's contract like right now?
They'll make moves.
I think even though they're playing in Cleveland, I think Jarvis Landry and Odell are very happy to be playing together once again.
You know what's a better question, Willie? Will Kyle Van Noy stay on the Patriots next year?
That's one of those tough ones because he's one of those players who's balling out this year, and he's probably going to get a very good paycheck somewhere else. You look at Trey Flowers and who's the offensive.
Kyle Van Noy is going to leave after the season. And,
somewhere that needs a linebacker. He's elite.
I talked to Kyle Van Noy. I saw him. Yeah. This was in April, and I said, "Listen, buddy, this is during or maybe May." And I said, "Hey, if you stay after, you stay after this year. I know it's a business. Mm-hmm. You're going to become a team captain. You literally will etch your stone in the Patriots Hall of Fame. He'll be a Pats Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Not saying he's a Pro Football Hall of Famer, but he'll be a Pats Hall of Famer, and he can make more money long term staying in New England and secure his life.
Build his own brand if he wants to.
Then go out, KVN, dude." Great fucking initials. That's a great initials. KVN 53. Then going out to, Tennessee or going out to, Houston or Dallas and going to get paid. And it's just like, then you could suck. Like, and then it ruins your career. And, everyone forgets about you.
And he's one of those fun personalities on a team that a lot of people think has no personality. They're all robots. He's one of those fun guys who embraced the boogeyman thing, like as soon as someone first breathed it into existence.
Owen.cox.3. I mean, there's a lot of these similar questions from people like Max Tyler. Will a new receiver be on the roster in the next few weeks? There's other questions like, is AB or Dez coming? Blah, blah, blah. What's the chances of AB coming back? We've kind of already talked about it to begin the show. I'm not even going to get into it.
Honestly, I think it's a flip a coin situation at this point.
M_Stornable. Would you agree if Edelman didn't fumble the ball, would we have beat the Ravens?
I'm trying to think back to that game what situation that was. I think the Pats were moving the ball that drive. I'm pretty sure
going down the field, and I believe they were only a one score. I think it was like a one score difference at that time too.
It definitely would have made it a closer game down the stretch. It wouldn't have just been run the ball and the clock kind of game. I think it definitely would have been a lot closer. I think the Ravens still had enough in the tank to win that game, even if the Patriots had scored a touchdown there. They were just the better team that day. I'm not going to deny that, but I think turnovers. That's how you're going to lose games. And if Edelman keeps the ball there, Pats have a much better chance of winning that game.
I got my boy over here, the Hook Eric. Do you think that
that guy.
Do you think that the Spike King can out shotgun the Hook Eric? And I will say this. It depends on my day. It depends on my mood. It depends on how thirsty I am. There's some days, I'll drink and the bubbles get to me and my stomach's full. Depends on how much I had to eat. Like, it really does. There's a lot of factors that go into chugging
beers. Depends on
beers.
the energy, the context.
I'm going to tell you, I've had a lot of low, I'm hyped. I stay hyped, but I've had a lot of low energy. A lot of traveling lately. Last year, I got sick 3 times during the season because of all the traveling. I got a sinus infection. I got mono. And then I got, another sinus infection. Or I got the flu or something like that towards the end of the season. That was hard. I need a couple of days to rest right now, not shotgun beers.
Say Super Bowl time comes around. Pats are in the Super Bowl versus the Seahawks again, and it's you versus Uncle Eric. You're down in Miami, and
I will take Uncle Eric. I'd be hyped up.
Yeah. Cameras all around you. The Boston crowd knows
from,
you guys are.
Zach Kincaid, 26. Who's going to be our kicker, our new kicker for the remainder of the year? Jake Bailey.
It. He's been saying it the last 3 weeks.
Jake Bailey, baby.
I don't even think it's been 3 weeks. It's been since Gostkowski got hurt. You said it the moment he got hurt.
I had I might have to repost that Instagram post and just be like, hey,
this happened.
This guy's a kicker, dude. Put him up. And no one wanted to believe it. No one's really talked about Jake Bailey being the kicker, the actual kicker. They more of like, look, it could happen, but I don't see it happen because it's never been done before. Yeah. It's never been done before. I can't wait to see Jake Bailey go out there and kick into existence.
Is there some kind of deadline that the Patriots have to get the guy on the roster before he's eligible to play, like this Sunday? Because that's got to be coming up quick. It's Thursday.
Probably Saturday. Because that's what happened with Antonio Brown. I think there was a quick turnaround, and he had to officially get a number, and he had to officially sign on, even though he was practicing.
Yeah. So I think it's got to be Jake Bailey.
I find it interesting. They're like, whatever. I mean, they probably didn't think. Well, they put in a claim for that kid Chase, the one that was from San Fran, and they didn't get it.
Yeah.
And they probably were just like, screw it this week. We'll just sit and just wait.
What do you think it'll look like on the Patriots if Jake Bailey ends up being very successful as a kicker and a punter, and the Patriots have brought in these guys who have missed kicks the last few weeks?
I'm taking my hat off for this one. There's still a punter out there that has not been signed yet, and his name is Ryan Allen. Why can they not just take Jake Bailey and be like, you know what? We're putting you at kicker, because they started getting him his kickoff. Because here's the thing. They had to get him developed over the season for kicking. And over the season, it's like, all right, we're putting you on kickoffs now. Okay. Oh, you feel a little bit better? Hey, how about in practice you take a couple field goals? No media's around. No media can do anything. Let's do some private workouts. How's it go? Because they don't want to show that shit out there. Yeah. How's that going? All right. Hey, Ryan Allen hasn't signed with the team at all, and he's just coming off a Super Bowl MVP performance.
Yeah.
Super Bowl MVP. Get Ryan Allen. If you're worried about him doing double duties, get Ryan Allen back out here and have him be the placeholder for Jake Bailey. You know what I mean? And that's it. Who's going to be the placeholder for Jake Bailey if he's kicking? Who's the placeholder for Jake Bailey if he's kicking?
Probably got to be Stidham at that point. Put the backup quarterback out.
Yeah, we have to be Stidham then. That's kind of crazy. It's wild.
Let me propose one more hypothetical here before we start wrapping up. You got that one roster spot that's open, and you have this is purely hypothetical. You get a chance to bring back fan favorite Ryan Allen. What? 3-time champion, 2-time champion, 3-time champion?
3-time. He had to be
Three-time
3-time. I think
Super Bowl champion, or Antonio Brown, and there's no social media drama. Who are you taking?
Ryan Allen.
Wow.
I'm taking Ryan Allen because here's the difference with that. Special teams with Ryan Allen and Jake Bailey, right? There's a reason why they won that Super Bowl because of field position. Now, not on every single drive is Antonio Brown going to catch it and go out there and, score, or he's always going to move the chains. There's going to be some miscommunication sometimes. He's going to have a couple drop passes. Jake Bailey's out there. Ryan Allen's out there, and he's going to keep punting that and pin it on the 10, the 5, the 2, the 1, because you have a guy like Matthew Slater that can run in as a gunner and then get that ball down there. I would take Ryan Allen over Antonio Brown right now. Special teams, man, because then what happens? You pin a team back on the 2-yard line, and then you have the boogeymen that are playing defense and that can try to get a safety and the chance to get the ball back. It's a game. It's 3 phases of the game, man. Yep. And in the phase of Ryan Allen and special teams coexist with the defense. Antonio Brown is just one-dimensional. It's just offense.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
That's
gonna be an interesting week of free agency in the middle or tail end of the season. Who is gonna take that roster spot?
I want to go on Instagram Live right now. Right now, we're gonna go on Instagram Live right now and debate this right now. I want to have a debate with you on this topic right after this.
All right.
We're here. It's the post game.
The post game.
We'll hype up Boston.
The post pod show.
I want to get you on right now.
That'll be fun. That wraps up episode 23 of Boston's Big Three. Stafford had a power outage at his school, so that's why he dropped a few minutes ago. But once again, my name is Brandon Spike King. We are presented by Ride the Wave Media and brought to you by 1 in 100. Have a great week, everybody.
Peace.